I saw these churches being organized here in the Anchorage area, and I thought, well, we ought to organize an association of churches. Got all the preachers together and all the folks from the churches and the missions together, and we organized the Chugach Baptist Association. Adopted ourselves a constitution, and that's how the association got started. Now back to our relationship with Southern Baptist. From the time I came up here, I had in my heart and in mind an idea that we ought to be a part of the Southern Baptist work. And we were actually sending mission money. Our churches were sending mission money through the Texas General Convention. And we were an active part of the cooperative program, though we were not officially recognized by any agency of the Southern Baptist Convention. But I had written from time to time the Home Mission Board. I'd gone down to our conventions and talked with members of the Home Mission Board and some members of the Executive Board of the Southern Baptist Convention. And finally, I got them to consider the possibility of recognizing the Alaska Baptist Convention and cooperating with us in doing mission work in Alaska. There was a reluctance on the part of the Executive Board of the Convention to enter into any relationship with the Alaska Baptist Convention. However, some of the people, and especially Dr. J.B. Lawrence and the Home Mission Board, really wanted to come up here and do some work and help us in reaching out and establishing missions in Alaska. Finally, after 4 years of effort, I went to the chairman of the committee which had been formed by the Executive Board of the Southern Baptist Convention to look into the situation in Alaska, and they were to report to the Executive Board that year on what they found. The extent of their investigation was they wrote a letter to the Executive Secretary of the Home Mission Society of the Northern Baptist Convention. And the report which the chairman was to bring was this letter. The letter said that the Northern Baptist Convention would take care of any necessary mission work in Alaska. The difficulty with the Northern Baptist Convention was they had an agreement with the Federal Council of Churches. And the Federal Council of Churches had divided Alaska up into sections, saying the Methodists can do mission work here, and the Presbyterians can do mission work here, and the Episcopalians can do mission work here. And they had assigned the Baptists the Aleutian Islands, Kodiak Island and the Aleutian Islands, which of course is the remotest areas of all of Alaska. And the American Baptist Convention had a children's home out near Kodiak. They had a chapel in connection with this children's home, primarily for the use of the children and the officials at the children's home. A few people from Kodiak occasionally went out there, but it was very few. Now that's all that the Northern Baptist Convention had in Alaska. So the vast part of Alaska and the major cities of Alaska had no Baptist witness at all, anywhere, anytime. And the agreement which the Northern Baptists had made through the Ecumenical Council of the National Council of Churches prevented them from establishing any missions in a place like Anchorage or Fairbanks or anywhere out in the native villages, except what they could find out in the Aleutian chain. That eliminated the greater part of the population of Alaska to have any Baptist witness at all. I asked the chairman of this committee if I could go with him to the executive board and then speak to the executive board if they would grant me permission after he had brought his report. And he took me up there and brought his report and then introduced me, and the chairman of the executive board, head of the executive board, granted me permission to speak to the executive board about our work and about what the Northern Baptists were not doing up here and what we had done and how God was blessing us and how there was a great mission opportunity in Alaska to reach people for the Lord. Well, when I was through, one member of the executive board made a motion that they continue that committee and hear another report the next year. And I told him, well, we people in Alaska are kind of like you are when you get in your pulpit. You tell the folks, today's the day of salvation. Today is the accepted time. We would like for you people to have the courage to say yes or no. You have had all the news you can ever get about what we're doing and what the Northern Baptist Convention is doing. I don't know where you could get any additional information. And 2 or 3 different motions were made and defeated when I talked against them, until finally somebody made a motion that they asked the Home Mission Board to, at a miscellaneous business period, to bring a resolution before the convention granting them permission to investigate the mission needs in Alaska and to meet those needs if they found that there really was a need. And Dr. J.B. Lawrence was delighted. He had been working with me and trying to get permission for the Home Mission Board to come up here. And he was our executive secretary of the Home Mission Board back in those days. He went to Dr. Boone, who was the executive secretary of the Kentucky State Convention, and got him to bring a resolution before the Southern Baptist Convention meeting in St. Louis. And it went about like this, that the Home Mission Board be authorized to make a survey of mission needs in Alaska, and if they found some needs that were real, that they had permission to begin to meet those needs. Well, first, Dr. Lawrence sent somebody up here, and I took him around and showed him around a little bit. Nothing happened. Then Dr. Lawrence came up here himself. I invited him to come. We took him around our churches, our missions, our mission possibilities, some places where we needed missions. He went back, and things began to happen with the Home Mission Board. Then, the Home Mission Board of the Southern Baptist Convention began to come into Alaska, cooperating with the Alaska Baptist Convention in establishing mission work in Alaska. The result of that work we see today with missions out in the native villages, with our associational director of missions, directors of missions. We have a number of associations now. And the Department of Evangelism of the Home Mission Board began to come up here, I had invited them to come up here and conduct some simultaneous crusades like they were conducting down in the States. And every year since then, our Department of Evangelism of the Home Mission Board has been conducting simultaneous crusades here in Alaska, bringing some of our finest preachers, some of our best singers, and our work, of course, now is a vital part of the Southern Baptist Convention, and we have reached a membership which entitles us to have representatives on the various boards and agencies in the Southern Baptist Convention. That's the way it all came about.